Hello guys, how are you? Welcome back once again in my virtual classroom. So in our previous video, we have started the lesson electricity and circuits, and in that video we have discussed about what is electric current, how the current flows from one point to the other point. So in today's lecture, we are going to explore about dry cell, what is the source of electric current and how that source works. Okay, so why to delay? Let us start the first topic, source of electric current. Now, electric current is nothing but flow of charges. Now, how these charges come? From where do these charges come? Now, these charges come from different sources. So, source is nothing but it is a device which is used to produce electric current. And one such device is a cell or a battery. Now, when two or more cells are joined together, then it forms a battery. Now, in this image, you can see how the cell and a battery looks. But now you might be wondering what is present inside this cell which makes the current flow. So, let us explore the internal structure of a dry cell. Now, what is dry cell? A dry cell, by its name only we can understand that it is a source of electric current. It is something related to dry. Yes. So, why it is known as dry cell? Because this dry cell, it contains the ingredients that are dry, in the dry form, or we can say semi-solid form. Okay. Now, what is present inside this dry cell? So, the images which you are able to see here, in those images, the internal view, the internal parts are visible. Okay. So, now for what purpose do you use these cells? Yes, you might be using it for playing, for running your toys. Yes. So, internally, how that dry cell is made and what all constituents or ingredients are present which makes the flow of charges, or which constitutes the flow of current. But yes, you need to be very careful. Don't try it without adult supervision, because all these ingredients, they are very toxic and harmful substance for us. Okay, so don't ever try to do it without any adult supervision. Now let us explore what does this dry cell consist of. Now this dry cell, it consists of the dry ingredients, or we can also call them as semi-solid ingredients. Now it also contains the paste of ammonium chloride and which is present inside a zinc container. Now inside this ammonium chloride paste, okay, there is a cardboard which is porous. Now why do we call it porous? Because it allows some materials to enter. Okay, so because it has some holes, or those holes are also known as pores. That is why that material is porous. Okay, now inside this porous cardboard, there is a powdered manganese dioxide and carbon is present. Now this carbon and manganese dioxide, they react with the ammonium chloride paste through that porous holes, or through that pores or the holes. Okay, now a graphite or the carbon rod. Now this graphite rod or the carbon rod with a metal cap is dipped into the manganese oxide. Now this graphite rod will act as a cathode. As you know, the cell has two terminals, positive terminal and negative terminal. So the zinc in our case is it acts as the anode or the positive terminal, and the metallic cap which you see at the top of the cell, that is connected with the graphite rod or carbon rod, and that is cathode, that is negative terminal. Okay, so that metallic cap has a negative terminal, and the zinc metal case at the bottom of the cell has positive terminal in it. Now, when you connect these two terminals with the help of a connecting wire, then current is said to flow from one terminal to the other terminal. From one terminal it gets in, and from the other terminal it goes out. Okay, so in this way there will be continuous flow of current. Now these dry cells, where are they used? They are useful in our remote control car, air conditioners, toy cars and television remotes and so on. Now, what are the different types of electric cells? Now, the different types of these cells can be primary or secondary. Now, some type of cells like that you use or dry cell, it is not rechargeable. Yes, once you use it, it gets over, you have to throw it away. But there are some other types of cells that are chargeable, that you can use it again and again. Now let us explore the next topic, basic conditions required for the flow of electric current. So what are the basic conditions that are necessary so that the current will flow through any circuit? So the first condition is, for the flow of current, you need a cell or a battery. Okay, combination of cells or simply a single cell depending upon your use. Now a metal wire is also required to connect the two terminals of the cells. Then this metal, why do we use metal wire? Because metals, they are the good conductors of electricity. Now an unbroken loop of wire from one terminal to another, one terminal to the appliance, and then again from that appliance to the other terminal. So in this case the appliance is a bulb. So one terminal of the cell is connected to the one end of the appliance with a unbroken loop of wire. Then another terminal is connected to the other end. Okay. What will happen if the path is broken? There will be no flow of current. So it is very important that the loop should be unbroken. Okay. Now the next topic is electric circuit. So let us understand what is electric circuit. Now a conducting path through which the current flows is known as electric circuit. So in the previous topic I have told you that you need two wires, one from connected from one end of the cell to the bulb and the other end of the cell also to the bulb. So both the terminals will be connected to the bulb so that there will be continuity. So that path from where the current was flowing and which is responsible for the glowing of the bulb, that path is known as electric circuit. Now the electric circuit can be of two types, open circuit and closed circuit. Now open circuit, if you connect a switch to control the flow of current, then when the switch is in off condition, it means there is no continuity in the loop. So when you open, it means there is no continuity, and if there is no continuity means switch is off there because there is no flow of current. Okay, and closed circuit means when there is a continuity, when the loop is continuous and there is a flow of current. Now these two images can help you to understand more about open circuit and closed circuit. So the image on the left hand side is open circuit because there is a path which is broken, the wire is broken. The blue colored wire you can see is broken. So will there be the flow of current? No, there will be no flow of current. And in the image on the right hand side, it is about closed circuit. So in that you can see the bulb is glowing, and in case of open circuit, as there is no flow of current, there will be no glow in the bulb. But when the circuit is closed, there will be flow of current. So definitely there will be the bulb will start glowing. Okay. Now whether the circuit is open or closed, that is decided by the electric switch. At our home, you cannot keep the wires simply open because if you touch them, then you may get the electric shock. So to control the flow of current at our homes for different appliances, we use electric switch. Now what is electric switch? It is a device which is used to open or close the electric circuit. In other words, you can also say that it is a device which is used to control the flow of current. Okay, or to control or to stop or start the flow of current. Now when you open the circuit, the flow of current stops. Open circuit means no flow of current, and when you close the circuit, the current starts flowing through it. Now when the circuit is open, it means the switch is in off condition, and when the circuit is closed, it means the switch is in on condition. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, and with the next topic we'll be back with the next video. Until then, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel and share it with maximum people. Okay? Until then, bye bye.